Hey friends, what's going on? Thank you so much for being here and of course for stopping by and checking out another video as always. For those of you who are new here, I'm Daniel from iomusic.com. I am trying a little bit of a different format with this video. And so it's kind of a lifestyle vlog type thing and it's a lot of fun. So this is a trip that I went on with my wife a couple of weeks ago to Florida as like a getaway vacation business thing before our baby gets here in just a couple weeks. So hope you guys like it. Hope you enjoy it. If you like this format, subscribe if you want more and let me know in the comments below. I'll see you soon. Talk to you later.
Just got done strategic planning part 1. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good.
Is your brain fried?
A little bit fried. Also, we have a lot of wind right now. So if that's like kind of...
It's fine. Sorry, I'm short. There you go.
I'm a little short.
But yeah, feel good.
What do we talk about?
We talk about it. Things to start and stop and keep as a business. Things to automate if we can. We talked about financials compared to last year.
Yep.
All those kinds of good stuff. It's a productive meeting.
Yeah, we're gonna come up with some new cool things for our clients. Some cool spring deals. Probably the day after tomorrow. But yeah,
Good stuff.
It's gonna be a great time. 10 out of 10. Recommend Echo Coffee Shop. See them right there. It's with this church. Pensacola.
Yes,
Top
sir.
off kings and queens. Y'all
Yeah.
are awesome.
Now we're gonna keep working and then eventually go to the beach.
Yeah.
Probably.
Go Goodwilling.
Go Goodwilling. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
And then maybe the beach.
Yeah.
You can open my door, sir?
Can you open the door?
Thanks.
There you go.
Baby Aya's making an appearance too.
We just got back to our Airbnb from the coffee shop, Echo, what was it called?
Echo Coffee?
Yeah, in Mr.
What did he say?
In Pensacola, Florida. I don't know. I'm thinking about Wyatt. This is Wyatt, the wasp. There's a wasp up there.
And wasps.
I've named him Wyatt. Anyways, so for those of you who don't know, we have a business together. It's called IO Creative Solutions. Underneath the umbrella of IO Creative Solutions, I do music production and stuff as IO Sound Studio. And we also develop websites, build websites, and design websites, and do like SEO and that kind of thing. And also
You
do
need
like,
to work on your elevator pitch.
and also do videography. You need to work on your beautiful face. So in today's video, I don't know.
I stink at this.
Pro number one.
Pro number one.
Of working for yourself.
Yeah. Pro number one of working for yourself is that there really is an unlimited salary ceiling. So having been someone who's worked for another company, there is kind of like a sense of security working for the company, but also you're kind of at a fixed amount of income until someone else essentially says otherwise. And that is a little bit frustrating. Also, I don't have a tripod, so we're kind of just hand holding this and it's really heavy. My arm is heavy, not the phone. But yeah.
Sorry, it's an airplane. We're near an airport.
Are you the airport? I knew it. But yeah, having your own company, honestly, it's higher risk. There's not that same like sense of security, but you can also make more because you're kind of the boss. If you decide you want to put more work in, you want to go out and make more clients and connections and things like that, then really you can. But also like the reverse of that is also true, which we can talk more about in cons.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so basically you can make as much money as you set out to make.
Which for people who are like really motivated like us, I mean, that tends to work out pretty well. But if you put a highly motivated person like us in a salaried position, it's kind of like, you kind of feel like you hit your ceiling, but you're not necessarily earning more. I mean, unless you get like a bonus structure or something like that, but also it's still capped off.
Yeah.
See you later on with the next pro. Anything else to say, Wyatt? All right. So honestly, it's been several days since I picked up the vlog again. I'm not very good at keeping up with this because I don't really do it that often. But the next pro of being self-employed is that you can kind of schedule your life around your work instead of, you can schedule your work around your life instead of your life being scheduled around your work. And that's a huge pro. Like right now, we are currently in Florida on vacation, enjoying some time together as a family. And we took the first couple days as half days where we worked for, a few hours and then we spent time on the beach. And so that's a huge pro. I honestly, with that alone, I don't think I would be able to give that up ever. Dre, what do you think? Well, Nisi's in the picture.
We're listening to the heartbeats.
What heartbeats?
Nisi and Aya's heartbeats.
Their heart beeps?
Yep.
That's fun. Cheese. All right, so it's been a couple hours since we last talked. I hung out with my little girl for a little while. We watched our favorite show, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, the best one out there. My wife is currently getting our daughter down for a nap upstairs. got some dinner together, all that kind of good stuff. But before this day is over, I wanted to tell you another pro of running your own business and being self-employed. And that is you get to choose the work. You're not stuck doing menial tasks that really have no significance to your overall goal, your overarching purpose in life. And that's a big deal. You get to choose the clients that you work with, you get to choose the projects that you take on, and so on and so forth. And for me, that's definitely been a significant reason for why I really love being self-employed. I loved my previous job at Bellevue Baptist Church. It was a great full-time job. It had amazing staff, really enjoyed what I was doing, and was still making music and writing music and stuff. But one very real reality is that a lot of my tasks that were given were just to serve the scope of what I was doing in that particular role. Fundamentally, it was to serve a different purpose, a different vision other than my own. And that's kind of the nature of being employed by an employer, right? You're ultimately working to serve their goals and their vision, and that's fine. But for someone who is very ambitious and very goal-oriented, very driven, very, in pursuit of my own individual purpose in life, it kind of just felt like I was boxed in, and so that's one of the huge benefits of being self-employed. I am probably gonna do some reading and watch some marathon content because I'm training for a half marathon, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. By the way, this is like the second to last day of our trip. We've been here for like 8 days. I haven't really done a good job vlogging. I'm not very good at it, but if it's something that you enjoy, I'm gonna try doing more of it. I think it's a lot of fun. So anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Adios. All right, so it's the next day. It's about lunchtime. I didn't jump on the vlog first thing this morning because, frankly, last night sleeping was like nearly impossible. We took our daughter to the beach for the first time a couple of days ago and a little bit yesterday. And despite covering her in a ton of sunscreen, this is her first time to the beach. And we weren't really sure how much sun exposure she should have. And so she got a little bit of a burn. And so last night she didn't sleep very well and she slept in the bed with my wife and I. And so we were pretty exhausted this morning and slept in, but here we are. So the next pro of owning your own business, being self-employed, is that you get complete creative control of projects, which for some can be awesome, for others may not be for you, to be honest. When you're working for somebody, they tell you the creative vision for whatever project you're doing, which in some sense can be freeing because you don't have the sense of responsibility. But when you have your own business and you're doing the projects yourself, you are the final authority on what the project looks like creatively. Now, my wife and I, our business is business to business, B2B. And so in some real sense, technically the client is the one that's ultimately telling us what they want the creative vision and outcome of their project to look like. That is definitely true. And unless you're doing a passion project or something like that, that's going to be the case because you're ultimately serving the client. But you still definitely have a larger degree of control for what you want the creative outcome of the product to look like. You have more input. And also you get to choose what collaborators you want to work with, what people you want to film and edit the project with and color grade the project with, and so on and so forth. Which again can be a double-edged sword because yes, you do have more choice, you do have more of the decisions to make, which can be a good thing, but also you have more of the decisions to make, which means there's more burden on you for the outcome of the project. So that's the next thing. So for the rest of the day, we're kind of going around town. We're about to go to like a children's museum to get our daughter out of the house and not be stuck watching Curious George and Mickey Mouse for a little while. So we're gonna get out of the house, go to the museum, find a park, hang out, and I'll take you guys along with us.
Hi vlog.
Hi vlog.
So, quick update. We just got done with the play area with the goose. She is wiped out in her car seat right now. And we're heading back to the Airbnb to get some lunch and possibly do some more work. So, what are we, number 3, 4?
I don't remember, like 5 or something like that. The next pro to being self-employed.
That's this number to being self-employed would be your tax advantages. So, yes, W-2 employees get your taxes withheld and then you get a big check, or not so big check, in April or whenever you file your taxes of a refund. However, you don't write off anything. Being a 1099 contractor, you can write off certain things that you normally wouldn't. So, For an example, we can write off a portion of our utilities, home insurance, our mortgage, portions of our Wi-Fi, any electronic devices that we use for the business. We can write
my phone, for example.
Exactly. Now you can't fully write things like that off. Talk with your CPA. This is not tax advice, but things like that you can, and that will lower your overall tax burden. And so if you look at the end of the year, you end up making the same amount of money, but paying less to the government because you get to write things off, like this vacation. We get to write off a significant part of it, not all of it, because we've used the Airbnb for filming, we've worked from there, and we are using this for strategic planning, taking in minutes, and we get to go to the beach in our downtime. Work smarter, not harder, my friends.
Yep. All right, we're gonna go home, eat some foods, and then we'll get back to you guys with some of the cons of owning your own business. All right, so I'm currently at the park. My wife and her mom and my sister-in-law literally just left, but I want to share with you a couple more cons, or the first couple of cons of owning your own business. The very first one is that you are responsible for everything. You are responsible for marketing, you are responsible for fulfillment, you're responsible for client relationships, you're responsible for absolutely everything. Every single part of the process is on your shoulders. And with that, there's really no mental checking out at the end of the day. You don't really get much of a break at all. And so that is a very real part of owning your own business. And the second part, along with that, is that you are responsible for cash flow. Like, every part of the cash flow depends on you. Whether you succeed or fail as a business is up to you. Some months feel very high, like you have a ton of money, you're totally good, but then other months tend to be very, very slow. And so income is inconsistent. So you don't have that reliable paycheck to count on every single month. And because of that, like I said in the last thing, you tend to have a hard time shutting that off. So that is a very real part of owning your own business. I think it's par for the course, and personally, I would prefer it that way. Now, owning your own business obviously is not for everybody, but those are a couple things to take into consideration. All right, so I'm gonna go on a run a couple miles, and then head on home, and we'll talk about a couple more cons. Run complete. Heading back to the car, heading home, gonna shower, eat some good food, watch some TV, and talk about a couple more of the cons to being self-employed. See ya. What's up, friends? So this vacation is already quickly coming to an end, work vacation type thing. And we're currently working on getting the Airbnb all cleaned up and everything packed so that we can hit the road. I did not get back to you guys last night after the run, but you know, is what it is. Shower, tired, blah, blah, blah. But this morning, before we hit the road, a couple more cons of owning your own business. First off, there aren't any built-in benefits. So there's no PTO, there's no retirement accounts, none of that kind of stuff. No health benefits, so on and so forth. All that stuff is completely on you. Instead of expecting an employer to provide those things for you, you're taking care of all that yourself. That is definitely one big con, in my opinion, of being your own boss. Another, again, I kind of mentioned this already in passing, but there's a higher mental load. There's really no hard turnoff at the end of the day, at least not naturally. Like for me, I have to be super intentional about, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock hits, and that's it. No more thinking about work. I leave the studio and then I check out of work mode and check into family mode. But when you're working for someone else, that's really easy. You can clock out at the end of the day and go home and forget about it. Hi, sweetheart. I have a sleepy little girl here. It's okay. But that is, those are a couple more cons of being your own boss. All right, we're gonna hit the road and get this little girl to sleep, and I'll talk to you soon with some more cons. We're currently on our first stop at a random Taco Bell in the middle of Alabama on our way back home. Making some pretty good progress. The girls got some sleep while this papa drove, and I just want to share with you a couple more cons of owning your own business. The last two, really. There's probably more that I can think about, but the first is that there is a real limitation in that you are the bottleneck. The growth and failure of the business depends on what you know as an individual. I'm gonna take a seat. Give me a sec. So the growth of the business really is determined by what you as an individual know. If your skills at selling are not very good, then ultimately the revenue that you generate is going to be limited by your knowledge of how to sell. If your skill set in whatever your deliverable is limited, then the quality of the product that you make is going to be limited by your own skill set. And that's true for literally every single different part of the business, right? If your marketing isn't very good and you're not very good at marketing, then frankly, you're not going to be able to get in front of as many people, and so on and so forth. And so on the one hand, it always forces you to grow and get better at what you do. And that's great, especially for a person like me who loves growing, who loves improving in their skills and whatnot. But also, like, it can very seriously hinder how much you make every year because, you know, there comes a point where your skills need to increase to be able to make more money. That's very real. And another con, this is the final con for owning your own business, is that it can be lonely. It can be tough because there's not a team environment built in. Like if you work at another job, typically there's someone who's responsible for helping cultivate a team-like atmosphere. You're working alongside other people. You're not by yourself all of the time. You might have your own office, but you're gonna see other people around the workspace probably every day. That's not the case when you're working, I love you too, baby girl. That's not the case when you're working by yourself. Now, my wife and I have the benefit of working together, so, you know, we are married, and she is my favorite teammate, and really my only teammate right now. And so we have that community, but even with that, there can kind of be a trade-off in that your marriage can become, if you're not careful, it can become more of a business partnership than a husband and wife relationship. So that's something that you need to kind of watch. And same thing like if you're working with your siblings or, you know, family, your friendships and relationships with them can become more so about business than like your actual real relationship in real life. So that's a thing to be cautious of. But yeah, so that's the final con, is that owning your business can be lonely because there's not that built-in relationship or relationship environment where you can build friendships like if you're working with a company. So anyways, we're gonna keep on driving, making our way back to Tennessee here soon. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed like the vlog style video, kind of showing you a little bit more into my life. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm trying to get better at it. I think it's enjoyable, but I think it's also a good break from like the typical talking head in the studio type of deal. So if you guys are interested in seeing more of that, just let me know, and I'd love to try to make more of it and get better and grow in this kind of craft. So anyways, see you guys very soon with another video. As always, if you want to support my channel more directly, you can do so through Patreon and whatnot. Hi, baby girl. All right, right now the wifey and the baby girl are probably wanting to get back on the road and get headed home. So see you guys. Adios. Love you guys. Love you guys? Do I love them? No. I don't love you guys. See you.
Spoken.
My wonderful wife wanted me to tell you guys that while we were in stop and go traffic, she parked the car and jumped out to grab some pretty pink flowers on the side of the road. And
The interstate.
on the interstate specifically. So yeah, I thought that was pretty great. Anything you want to share?
Nope, I got my flowers. I've always wanted to do that, by the way. Sometimes you just need to cave to your intrusive thoughts.
Because you only low once.
You only YOLO once.
Yep.
We're pretty flowers.